Before I start the demo, let me give you the quickly high-level intro of mine. So I am Sujit Kumar, as you know. Uh, I have between 12 to 15 years of experience on the core networking, which includes the uh, architecting, the routing, switching, somewhat a firewall, Python, you know, other automation stuff. SD-WAN, I have worked quite good experience on the Cisco SD-WAN solution. Uh, and that include the architecting and operationalizing the stuff for the corporate. Plus, I have trained uh, multiple resources around the corporate or non-corporate. So that's kind of the high level intro of mine. If any one of you interested can quickly give me an intro and then further I'll continue on that one.
So currently, I have not done anything over the SD-WAN, but
Mhm.
yes, I am willing to learn about the SD-WAN technology. However, I have 15 years of experience in networking, F5, and Python.
Yeah. So to connect a bit more on the side, based on, of course, I'll pick up the course accordingly. Uh, I'll continue demo and then further we will see that how to move forward. Okay. So first of all, again, welcome to the SD-WAN training. This would be our demo class. Uh, and just to mention that this we will be targeting or focusing precisely on a Cisco slash Viptela SD-WAN solution. So why I'm saying Cisco slash Viptela is that Viptela was the origin of this solution, and then further it was being acquired by Cisco. So now Cisco is operating the solution and supporting. So now it is a primary Cisco solution. Cisco does have the other SD-WAN solutions, which includes Meraki and all. But in this one case, we will be focusing on the Viptela only. Okay. So which is of course the one of the trending into the market. So going next is that what you will learn out of it is the one of the important question. So to answer that, we will be covering the SD-WAN fundamentals, which is more on to connect that what you will what is the Cisco SD-WAN, and what are the component involved in it, how it operate, how to deploy the SD-WAN infrastructure in your organization, uh, which includes understanding the architecture level, designing, and doing the different meeting the different requirement. Further, we will talk about the how to configure the SD-WAN environment. You will know the deploying zero touch provisioning. So this is something a new concept which Cisco SD-WAN bring up, and it is true zero touch provisioning. It's not like the just marketing god. It is a probably for sure the zero touch provisioning, which is used into the industry further, right? uh Other one is that we will talk about the SD-WAN policies, so you will get to know that how the policies operate into the SD-WAN infrastructure and how to deploy them, right? Further, we will talk about the what are the different devices exist into the SD-WAN world, what are the software applied into it, and then of course you will get to know the troubleshooting SD-WAN environment. So this is what you will get out of this entire training session, which will give you the end-to-end understanding plus operational knowledge to
So,
manage the SD-WAN infrastructure. Yeah.
Sujit, sorry to interrupt. So just I wanted to know if I wanted to go for the certification of the SD-WAN,
Mhm.
okay, uh, are your team or you are going to cover for CCNP syllabus for the SD-WAN defined, or what kind of syllabus we are defining?
So coming on the syllabus, I have the course content into the next few of the slides. Uh, but just to answer your question precisely, we would not be going for this. the CCNP routing switching or CCNP security. The course this is specifically designed to focus on the SD-WAN infrastructure.
No,
Now,
no, that's
what are,
correct. That's correct. The
let me,
portion which comes into the CCNP, are we covering that?
so CCNP of SD-WAN, I mean
Yes.
CCNP, oh yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying, that it covers level of CCI even. So what the
Okay.
section of the SD-WAN comes in either of the exam is covered under this. And of course, there is the separate Cisco SD-WAN certification. You can gain that one also. And I will make sure that the course which we are providing is going to cover all, I mean, is going to cover all the knowledge which is needed for either of the SD-WAN related certificate. Does it answer your question?
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on, what we have as an course contents is that SD-WAN fundamentals, like I told you guys, controller installation, VS Cloud installation, JET-TP and PNP, how to set up the JET-TP and how does it work. Uh, Introduction of the web interface, how to operate the web interface and where the different options are available. What are the type of the certificate we have just into this one, and then how to generate those certificate in each individual cases. Further, we will be talking about the upload via serial number file or syncing with the smart account, validating or invalidating VS routers. So which is more on that, what are the different states we have and how we can operate make the device to operate at which stage. Is that participating to forward the traffic or just participating to bring up process? So when I say the bring up process is a kind of the staging, right? So you are doing a staging, you are saying that, hey, you can join it, but you are not supposed to forward the traffic, right? So all those states we will talk about. Then we will talk about the existing software version installed, how to check those, and what are the meaning of different software apply on which device. Further on the continues of that, we will talk about the V1 orchestrator, status of the VWS routers, smart controller, you know, and then we will further move on the templating side. So we have the different type of the templates. I'll help you to identify the basic template versus the how to identify the common attributes within the your architecture, and how you will design your architecture correctly so that you can minimize the configuration of the templates. So that is going to help your operation team to when they are operation or implementation team when they are bringing up the new devices into the SD-WAN network infrastructure. Further, we will talk about the routing part, which includes connected, static, BGP, OSPF. We will talk about the VRRP configuration, SD-WAN triple E configuration, upgrade the device, how to upgrade the entire infrastructure from the one version to the other version, what should be your proceed to further follow up. So that will give you a more insight when you are planning for upgrade in your infrastructure, either the different controller or the edge router, right? Further, we will talk about the policy overview. So what are the policies and how to influence the traffic utilizing a different type of the policies. And then further we will talk about the TLOC extension. This is something new, probably the never came into the picture by any of the technology. This is something specific to the Cisco SD-WAN TLOC extension, where they say that, okay, a one transport terminated on a one location can be extended to the other location as well, or to the other device, right? So we will talk about that. We will deploy those into the lab. So we will covering up those in the detail of those in the concept theory, and then further lab that how to deploy those. Any question on the course content if you have before I jump in?
No, exactly. But as I told you, I am, very new to the SD-WAN technology, and I need to be, do some of the migration. So
Yep.
after this course, maybe may I put myself in the position that I could do the migration or not?
You could do the migration, plus you would be able to do the policing and architecting the SD-WAN solution. It's just not the migration is that you migrate it. You can do it at the high level, global architecture level changes to, you know, I would say that this is the kind of the end-to-end solution or end-to-end knowledge transfer. Okay. Uh,
Sure, sure.
moving on next to give you a little bit of a connect what SD-WAN is, and then what was the challenges with the legacy stuff, so that you can connect very much that why do you need to join the SD-WAN course versus not joining. So just trying to connect you a little bit of the background of the SD-WAN. So Cisco SD-WAN is about ensuring that business application levels the optimal transport intent based SD-WAN. So looking on our legacy world of it is that we don't have intent based routing. We have the destination based routing, or we have the IP based routing, not the intent based, which measure everything as in a single pen, and then react or the converts the traffic to be use the optimal path automatically without doing any changes when you see the issue on the network, right? So the Cisco SD-WAN is agnostic with regards to the transport network. So when we talk about the transport network, is that what we are saying is that it doesn't matter that what type of the provider you are using, is that internet, MPLS, layer 2, layer 3 routing, or mix of all of them. You can have any type of the network coming on your remote location, and for us we will be treating all of them as in the transport, nothing, no matter it is MPLS internet. The only difference is that the reliability of the provider, that if your internet is more reliable, we are fine. It doesn't matter that you need MPLS. So uh, further, what to connect about the legacy solution and the challenges, and how what these challenges the SD-WAN is solving, is that let's go back to the MPLS layer 3 VPN. So this MPLS layer 3 VPN was the a more common type of the network connectivity for the corporate offices, where we share our router with our service provider versus a carrier to establish the reachability between the two sides. What does it mean by that? Is that of course we are fine to share the routing, but still we have to uh, you know uh, have the discussion with our service provider before making any changes into the global routing. So we are fully dependent on the service provider. Service provider is involving in our routing, making any changes on the route influencing. We have to always talk to the service provider, and those has to be done in a coordination with the service provider. So that was the one of the drawback which comes with the layer 3 VPN, right? Next, probably the MPLS layer 2 VPN, which of course solve the previous challenge, that we don't want to dependent on the service provider for routing changes, because layer 2 VPN we are running the IGP across the different locations on that cloud. But the problem happen is that in case of something is continuously flapping into that layer 2 domain, is that the continuously convergence, or the process of the routers is being increased. Considering that also, there is the another disadvantage was that if we are running the QoS, we have to be a fully honored the QoS values which we are sending to the ISP. The both should be aligned to each other. Still we have to coordinate for those markings, and making sure that our traffic is rightly prioritized. So that comes again with the another challenge, right? uh, IPsec, the ability to do the routing and the preference path selection is severely lacking. So we can do this over the internet. We can do our routing, we can send our traffic over the tunnel, but there is a no possibility of doing a dynamic routing, right? There is a no possibility of playing around the routing one path over the other path versus the multiple path, right? So that was the again the least preferred solution which we have used in the past. uh, Next we have a DMBPN over the internet. This solution have a lot of advantage, but what it comes as a real disadvantage is that it is unreliable. So what is unreliable is the, the transport, right? So where we run this is that over the internet. So and when it comes only the internet only, is that it totally unreliable, right? So what does it mean by that? If anything is wrong is happening, we don't have any IPS, I mean any SLA with the service provider to you know make sure that our services are healthy and working, taking care all the application critical traffic, right? So all of them comes with their different challenges. One resolve the other one, but the other one is you know left with the other problem, right? So next, what we how does it the SD-WAN solve those problems is that it established the it establishes an overlay network across the all the transport. So what does it mean by that is that no matter you are using a MPLS, you are using the LT, you are using the 4G, any type of the transport you are using, what it is doing is that it is building up its own fabric top of it, and that is totally a virtual fabric, right? Now this virtual fabric is being used to extend the routing from the A side to the B side, B side to the A side. And since we build its own fabric, we have a more power to influence the routing as per our need instead of the service provider, right? Service provider is not seeing our routing at all. We build its own fabric. We are building up its own mess of the virtual tunnels and all those stuff dynamically, and then we are running the dynamic routings to exchange the uh, the routes from the one location to other location. And since this is being operated by this entire solution, the solution gain the more power to influence that, okay, this is how I want to send my traffic, one path over the other path, or this is how my topology should look like, that I should be operating on these 10 sites in hub and spoke, and these 5 site as in a hub and hub, I mean full mesh or the partial mesh kind of a stuff. So all that is being tackled care by the SD-WAN to solve the previous challenges which we had, right? So to connect that, how it all achieve is that one thing is that it separated all the planes, so it created a 4 plane into it, and those all are dependent to the different component, and each component is independent to each other. So they have a three I mean sorry 4 separate plane, which one is the orchestration, management, control, and data. One of them is responsible for onboarding the device, other one is responsible for managing the device. Since we talk about the management plan, is that only a one pane of the glass is helpful to operate entire infrastructure from the one location, right? And then further we have the control plan, which is more on responsible to instruct the device that, hey, this is how you should forward the traffic. And data plan is responsible to forward the traffic, right? So that's how it segregated, and it either of the plan goes is lost from this component, is that you lost the functionality of that component. Rest all the component will work in the way they should be, right? So in case of the orchestration lost, your data plan will remain work. In case of the management plan lost, your data plan will remain work, right? So that's how it work overall.
Uh,
uh yeah.
maybe okay. So I didn't get actually between these components. What is
Okay.
this orchestration and all of this
Okay.
stuff?
So to connect you on the high level topology is that This is the kind of the high level topology which will give you the what are the different planes are. So if you look here, is that orchestration plane is the one which is a B bond. Okay, so B bond is responsible for onboarding a device. It's kind of the entry gate. So if you are trying to join our corporate network from internet or from the MPLS, you have to come to this guy to validate your information that you are the right resource and you are allowed to join in, right? So what does it mean by that? If you don't have the specific key to get the entry into it, you will not be get into it, right? It's same like in a corporate world. If you don't have the entry gate access card, you cannot get into the system. You are out of, you will be, uh, you will be locked because of that, right? uh, then the management plan is more on to that. Okay, this is, there is a called a device called a vManage, which is responsible for making any change across the entire globe of your WAN. So either you are making any change on the data center device, campus device, or branch device, and here I'm talking about the WAN device, right? So when as routers, which we are connecting and using in this solution, will be always talking to the management plan. And if you want to change, okay, I want to advertise this subnet from this device, you will go on this management device, will advertise that subnet, and that configuration will post to the edge routers, which are sitting into the remote locations, right? Further, then there is a control plane. Control plane is the vSmart, which is this guy, which is responsible for uh, you know uh, modifying the routing information based on the defined policies for towards to the data plane. So the data plane further will utilize that information to route the traffic or to choose the one path over the other on the WAN side. So if you look here, we have all the different transport internet MPLS 4G. What we did is that we build up the if you see these miners, we what we have built is that totally a fabric top of it, and that fabric is operating independent out of the internet or MPLS. The routing of my customer is neither being shared to the internet, not to the MPLS, not to the 4G. My routing is between me only. So if I want to make any change, I can make a change. I don't need to coordinate to the internet or MPLS or 4G. Is that answer your question somehow?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Moving on, we have the SD-WAN topology. Uh, so into the SD-WAN topology, how it looks overall is that we have one location which is having the two VH router, other location have the one VH router. Both of them have a two different transport base. Uh, when I say the two different transport, in this case, both are the internet. The only difference to differentiate them, one internet over the other internet, is that we have to give them a color, and it is nothing more than the uh, a same like a VLAN number, right? So the color is basically helpful to identify which transport are we talking about, where to send the traffic, right? So these are the just the logical name, and they have a significance to identify which transport this the traffic should be sent, or which transport are we talking about. Nothing more than that. Okay. uh I think that's it. Apart from that, what we have is that we provide to our students is the study material, what we have as in the uh the training stuff, and then apart from that, we provide the recording of all the classes which we have captured for uh I mean the we provide the recording of all the classes after the class is done. So if a student want to go back and check those recording and want to refer them, they can see those recording. Further, we have 24 into 7 remote access to the lab, and then of course Steven work to be perform the number of labs. So all of this
So,
is
what about
available
the
for.
study material?
So study material is that, we provide some document to, refer back that, okay, this is the PDF which you can refer. This is the slide of training which you can utilize further.
So the slide which you are showing, will you give this,
This is
will
a
you give?
demo class. This is a demo class. This would not be shared. Of course, once you will join the course, you will be getting those slides accordingly.
Oh, okay, thank you. And what about the lab?
So connecting to the lab, I can quickly connect on the lab. So let me share my screen further to the lab browser. New share. Let me know once you guys are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so for the lab, what we have is that we have our lab, which is accessible on our portal, which is 24 into 7 available. You will click here and will get the lab stuff. And further, you will get the topology. Once you are into the system, you can power on any of the device and can utilize that device to the, for the lab purpose. So all of them are, and we have written the what we call it, the task for each individual lab. So you can, of course, utilize them.
Sorry,
Putting
where
up
are the tasks?
tasks are being written into the workbook.
Okay. So
Yep.
you are providing workbook also, right?
Yep. So here you can see in the section of the workbook, that's where you will see the SD-WAN workbook. You can log in, can do anything on the each individual device. I have just power on one, but you can power on all of them. Mm.